then with time on, or rather in, their hands. Their goal, to assemble their own watches.
You could say that here grown men turn into little boys. Probably we've all tried at some point to take a watch apart and then realized we couldn't put it back together again.
For the past 8 years, the watchmaking company Schäuble & Sohner has been offering courses in the southwestern German city of Karlsruhe. Participants have just 6 hours to learn how to assemble a watch. Real watchmakers train for 3 years.
I'm not great with my hands, much less so when it comes to precision mechanics. Let's see how my talent and clumsiness perform.
But before they can try out their dexterity, the participants have to drill some theory. Founded in 1924, Schäuble & Sohner has a long tradition of quality craftsmanship. Before the course, the participants each selected one of a number of different models. Unlike the courses at big-name manufacturers, here the customers can take apart their own watches. Before the watches are dismantled, their precision is measured with an instrument called a chronocomparator, which checks their timekeeping and regularity.
We wanted to run at least as well again this evening.
I'm going to try. This is the first watch I've ever taken apart and put back together. Let's see.
The participants need a lot of help from watchmaker Till Lottermann, especially at the start. The dial is particularly sensitive. You have to be careful not to scratch it. Dejan Milenkovic has to break down the timepiece into its 48 parts. The smallest screws here are as big as the largest ones in other watches, making it the perfect model for beginners. A professional could take this watch apart in less than 10 minutes. Dejan needs an hour.
Considering that this is the smallest and simplest watch, I dread to think what it would be like if there were a stopwatch or a calendar as well. Screwing together the two minute parts will be tough enough. I don't remember where everything goes.
Then it's time to reassemble. Finger cuts ensure that no fingerprints are left on the gilded plates. As Dejan suspected, reassembling the watch is even more complicated than taking it apart. Till, the professional watchmaker, has to lend a hand. Even tightening the screws is a challenge.
You have to get it just right. You can rip the threads right out of the plates if you screw them in too tightly. Because the threads are only 1 millimeter.
This too is part of the exercise. Parts falling to the ground. Everyone's searching for a tiny but crucial screw that can barely be seen with the naked eye.
That's what makes the seminar what it is. Otherwise, it would be boring. I don't have many spare parts for this screw, so now we have to find them.
Viele Ersatzteile dabei habe, also die müssen wir jetzt auch finden. Die finden wir auch.
Okay, jetzt. Von dem hatte ich es vorhin, ne? Von dem gemeinsamen Zimmer.
Groß, aber ziemlich tricky, die da.
After 90 minutes of total concentration, Dejan has almost achieved his goal. He paid €980 for the course, which includes the watch. But it remains to be seen whether it will work properly. The chronocomparator determines whether or not he has succeeded. It shows the watchmaker how many seconds the watch gains or loses in a day.
It's ticking with the spirit I've breathed into it.
The watch runs just as well as it did originally. You can be proud of yourself.
I think they're being diplomatic. But I didn't make it worse. They say it's at least as good. I'll assume the same.
Davon gehe ich jetzt auch mal aus.
Now Dejan Milenkovic can take home the watch he assembled. And he knows that, if necessary, he'll be able to repair it himself.